Hi everyone, how you all doing? I hope the past week has been restful and joyful in your own way, whether you celebrate or not, whether you are spending time with your family, friends, or just your wonderful, amazing self. You had a restful, joyful time in your own ways. I'm here to do another week of weekly planetary forecast, and we'll follow up with a tarot reading for the collective this coming week, December 27th to January 2nd. We are stepping into the new year 2022, so I'm here wishing you all a wonderful, beautiful year ahead. And let's begin. This week we have some really juicy planetary transit. So we'll start with the biggest one. Let's start with a bang. On 29th Wednesday, our expensive, amazing planet Jupiter is going back into Pisces. Not sure if you all know, Pisces is splitting its trip in Jupiter into three parts, which we already experienced a little bit back in let's see, May 13 to July 28th, 2021. So Pisces went into Jupiter just for a little dip. So because when Jupiter went into Pisces, Jupiter was in retrograde. So we might not see that expensive power of Pisces to the fullest. And but we did see a little bit. And think back what happened during that time for you. From May 13 to July 28th, we did see that in US, the mask mandate was lifted up, things were opening in different parts in the country, and we see that people did kind of go back to the normal a little bit with more openness in a way. So don't forget that Saturn is still in Aquarius, and it will be in Aquarius until 2023. So while we might experience this expensive Pisces energy, Saturn is still in the background dancing along. So there's a balance in between the two as well. So what does it mean that Pisces is splitting its trip into three times? So what we experienced, or what came up during that first part of the trip in May 13 to July 28th might be like a glimpse, like a like a like a prequel of what's to come when Pisces comes back in Jupiter. So something might have taken off during that time, or something might have started during that time, but maybe it didn't really get developed, or it was put on hold, or it was put on pause. Maybe it didn't happen as quickly or the way you wanted it to be, but the seed was planted maybe, and maybe things took place or just kind of happened during that time, kind of brewing, but it's like a slow brewing. And now that we have a few months since that time, maybe things continue to brew in a very slow rate in the background, didn't really come to fruition or anything, but it's kind of still there, and it's waiting to be developed, like a second part of the movie or something like that. So now that Jupiter is coming back to Pisces in December 29th, we might see those things that started taking place, or we planted the seed during that time, we might see a development from them. However it developed is up to all of us, because everyone is doing different things during that time. But the energy is that it gets picked up, and maybe it will continue to develop onwards now that Jupiter comes back to Pisces. And Pisces will stay in Jupiter until 2022 May 10th. And then it's going to travel really fast. It's going to use a little bit less than 6 months, like 5 month-ish, to travel through the whole Pisces 30 degrees. So with that kind of speed, we might see things progress, expand, or happen a little bit quicker than usual because we're traveling in a faster period of time. Jupiter usually takes about a year to transit the whole sign, but now we're using 5 months or so. And then Jupiter will go into Aries for a little while, for like almost the rest of the 2022. But then it comes back to Pisces to wrap up the year of 2022 in November 23rd, 24th, depending where you are in the world. And it will stay in Jupiter until December 20th, so about a month to kind of wrap up and give us like the final dessert of its course in Jupiter. So it will be interesting to see how this energy played out in the collective and also for us individually. So what does it mean when we say Pisces in Jupiter? So the things that governed by Pisces will be magnified, will be expand, will be overflowing. And as a collective, we might embrace this energy more. And as an individual, we can check back our own charts to see what house is Pisces ruling on in your chart. So that house might get magnified and expand. So check your own chart, or feel free to do a consultation with me as well. And so Pisces is at its home sign because Jupiter used to rule Pisces before Neptune is discovered. So Pisces is the two fishes swimming against each other in a different direction. So sort of like a yin yang, we see a duality in it as well, balancing its energy. There's upward, backward, there's upstream and downstream. We need the energy of yin yang to keep a balance in everything, in ourselves, in our lives, and as a collective in this world. We can't have too much of one side because that will tend to lose the balance. So Pisces is also governing things that we cannot see. That's deep down inside the ocean, our subconscious mind, our thoughts, the spiritual realm, things that we cannot see. Pisces is also an incredibly empathic and healing sign. So things regarding to healing, things regarding to spiritual world, spiritual realm, things about our subconscious, our deep thoughts, our mind, and things we cannot see but's there. And also Pisces, because of its empathic and healing aspect, things regarding to like the weaker group, the more vulnerable group in the society, for example, the elderly, the one that needs help, the animals, the one that's struggling. During this period of time, we might see topics surrounding them come up more, and we might feel more eager to help them, or we might pay more attention to those topics as well. We might be drawn to or feel interested in exploring the spiritual side of us. Any spiritual practice or modalities that we are curious, we might explore, we might want to learn more. If we already have our own practice that we have, we might deepen it, we might strengthen it, or we'll alchemize it, or find different ways, learn different things. So things like that will tend to come up and magnify too within ourselves and as a collective. So that's something we can pay attention to. So I'm just sharing what I think. So take it or leave it, it's okay. But Pisces also rules, as I said, things we can't see. So when I think of it, when I was reading and researching and thinking what I want to say about it, it also reminds me that virus is something that we can't see, which we I'm sure we experience it collectively for the past 2 years or so. So when the energy of that get expand and magnify, the downside of it is we do see the virus get mutated, and it mutated into different variants, and every time it mutates, it kind of cause a surge in some parts or around our world. This is something I hope will not happen, but I just have to say it when I see it, because I don't sugarcoat things, and I am not here to spread fear or anything, but I do want us to keep that in mind, to remember that while Jupiter in Pisces might bring up a lot of hope, a lot of joy, a lot of expansive, happy energy, which I love and can't wait for them. Sometimes Jupiter has a tendency, as I shared, every planet, every sign has their light and shadow energy. Sometimes Jupiter might be over expand but under deliver. And we also have to keep in mind that Saturn is still in Aquarius, and being ruled by Saturn, this sign is about restrictive, scaling down, and is the opposite of Jupiter. So while we might experience the joyful, the happiness, expansive energy Pisces might bring up, I feel like we need to stay cautious and still keep up with our routines that we have in order to stay safe and healthy, so that we can enjoy what's to come from Jupiter and Pisces. So it's just a little gentle reminder for all of us. And on the same day, on Wednesday, Mercury, the planet of our thoughts and communication, is going to conjunct Venus. And because Mercury is still in Capricorn for most of this week, doing its thing and the last push, so the energy might be a little bit magnified and more intense. So on Wednesday 29th, Mercury is going to conjunct Venus, which is in Capricorn retrograding, as we all know. And also the next day on the 30th, because Venus and Pluto is having this very close dance together, Mercury is also going to conjunct Pluto. So all these three planets are like having a tight dance together with each other on this couple of days just before we're wrapping up the year. So what does it mean? Mercury, I actually do kind of like this energy, because Mercury is all about communications, our thoughts, in our mind. So Mercury is this is this loudspeaker, or well, sometimes it's not when it's in retrograde, right? But so Mercury comes in, and we're already doing our work in Venus retrograding in Capricorn. So things regarding to money matters, with our relationships, things that we value, we're contemplating, we're reevaluating, we're revisiting them, reflecting them. And Mercury comes in and say, hey, don't just stuck in your mind thinking about it. It's time to also communicate. So during this couple of days, you might feel the need or the want to communicate what's been going on in your mind. And it might be some pretty deep, profound, transformative, and important conversation, because Pluto is all about transformation, about regeneration. So what have you been thinking, evaluating, or doing? maybe it is a very good time for you to communicate that with any of your relationships or within yourself. Really put in some concrete words around your thoughts. So this is a good time to do that as well. So on 2022, January 1st, Happy New Year. We are starting 2022 with a very beautiful energy. Sun is having a trine with Uranus. Uranus is all about radical change, sudden change sometimes, and it is a very auspicious day too, because it's a universal day 8. 2022 1 breaks down to number 8, which is a very auspicious day, is a day of infinite possibility, and it is a good day with Sun trining Uranus to use that day to think of the changes you have been thinking about the last year and wanting to implement. This will be a good day to think about that. How can you implement all the changes you want in this coming new year? 2022, 222 breaks down to 6. It is a 6 year. So in numerology, 6 is finding the balance, the harmonious in everything. When I think back the past couple of years, 2020 breaks down to the year of fall, which as we can all see, it is the breakdown of our foundation. When a foundation is not strong enough, it breaks down. It will need restructure, and we do see that happen around the world as a collective and within ourselves. What needs to go? What needs to stay? So it was pretty heavy on that. And 2021 breaks down to the 5 year, which is all about changes, and we do see that a lot as well around the world. There's a lot that have changed since then, and now we're coming to the 6th year. I feel like this year is all about learning those lessons, seeing those change, and knowing what kind of change we want and need. And this is the year to put those emotions in order to find a more balanced and harmonious state of life within ourselves and as a collective. So it would be really nice to harvest that energy within our life and as a collective. So it feels like it's going to be a good year. I don't want to jinx it, but let's see what's in store for us in this new year. So on January 2nd, Sunday, we are having our first moon lumination of the year. We're having our new moon in Capricorn, which is a very beautiful energy to set the tone of 2022. So new moon in Capricorn, in my opinion, I think we should just take that day to take a moment to go back to ourselves and to really look at how we want to start this year. We have been through so much ups and downs for the past couple of years. We witness and experience so much, and there's a lot of changes that has happened. And I'm sure for every one of us, there's some changes that we wish to see in this world and we wish to see in our life. So it is a very good time to take a moment to come back to ourselves, to see how we can be the change ourselves. If there's any part in our life that we want change, how should we start approaching them? It is not a time to just think about them. Capricorn wants us to put in the actual work, step by step, structurally, to get what we want, because nothing is impossible. As long as we set our mind and heart to do it, what we truly want, we can achieve. We just need to put in the action and stop staying in that thinking state all the time. And since we also have Venus retrograding in Capricorn, things around that area will be magnified too. It might be that we're thinking all the relationships we have in our life, the one we have with ourselves too. What kind of change do we want to see? What kind of change do we want in all those areas, in all those relationships? The relationship between us and money as well. How can we take the steps to achieve those change? It's a good day to think about it and actually start taking action towards this as well, because if we just keep thinking about it, nothing's going to change, right? So it is a good day to start implementing those changes that we want to see. So I think that's about it for this week. Pretty big energy, but also not that bad. I actually pretty like all these transit that we're experiencing. So I'm sending you all the blessings. So now we'll hop off to the tarot reading. Hi everyone. So we're here to do the tarot reading for the collective this upcoming week, December 27th to January 2nd. Remember, this is a general reading. It will not resonate with everybody, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a more personal reading, please feel free to contact me, email me, or message me. Follow me on Instagram, and the link is all in the description box, and I hope to connect with you over there. So let's begin. All the cards are meditated and shuffled, so we will begin. What does the collective need to know during the week? During the week of December 27. Oop, we don't need the whole deck. December 27th to January 2nd. I love what I'm seeing already. Let's get one more card out. Here we go. Wow, wow, wow. So what I see here this week, as I already mentioned in the previous planetary energy forecast, we are seeing some big energies happening this week. And with Venus retrograding in Capricorn, which started already, and it will carry us through the year and into the whole January, we're really seeing that energy being reflected on the cards. So as we can see that many of us might really be influenced and feeling the energies, and are really going within to reflect, review all the RE words about everything that Venus governed, which is, as I said before, is all about all the relationships we have, especially the one-on-one ones, like the one we have individually with our boss, our colleagues, our friends, our family members, ourselves, our lovers. So we're really seeing that many of us have been thinking about all this relationship. How can I, for some of us, if we're experiencing any of the relationship that's not so good for us, or not for our highest good, or relationships that we know we need to put in the work to make them better, or vice versa, to ask the other person to put in the work, or to just communicate to see how we can make this relationship work or not, or it is time to just cut the ties, to end it. We're really putting some thoughts in it. And for some of us, this week we are communicating because we want to move in a calmer ground, a calmer waters with those relationships. How can we make the existing relationship better? How can we both put in the work to make things work? This week we're seeing, we're communicating, even if we're not, we're thinking about it. How can both of us, or from one side, to put in more work, to work together, to collaborate, so that the relationship can move to a better state, to move to a calmer water. That is for those who want to mend or save or better whatever relationships in our lives. And for some, moving into calmer water means just for their own sake. Maybe it is time for me to just kind of know that I've tried, and it is now time for me to put in the work for myself and to just simply say goodbye. But for many of us, for some of us, it is to move the relationship to a calmer water. And this week we're also seeing that for those people who have been experiencing some tension, conflicts within the relationships, whether it is with your friends, your boss, even arguing within yourself. Sometimes we argue with ourselves because we're battling our mind and our heart. What do we want? Does the mind align with the heart? Well, we know that no, they don't always align. So for our highest good, we need to come back to our heart, to really dig deep into our heart. What do you really want? What is really good for you? Listen to that voice in your heart, not in the ego mind where it's always living in the place of lack and fear, that's too scared to take action and miss out opportunity, or too scared to end relationship because we don't want to be the bad person, or we don't want to hurt people, but we're ending hurting ourselves. No more. This week I see that for some of us, enough is enough. It is time to take that action, to communicate if you're struggling in some of your relationships. And for some of us, it is within ourselves. It is regarding to things we want to do, that passionate project that we're wanting to give birth to, or it is about some creative ideas that we want to manifest into reality, or it can be something you want to learn. This week you're done with struggling within yourself. It is the time to take that action, to do what you want, to fulfill that dream, to bring that idea into reality, to start taking the step to bring it into one step closer to fruition. It might be just simply starting that course, to register for that course, buying that book to learn more about it. It is taking the first step to starting your creative project, whatever it is for you. So for some people, it is the internal conflict they have within themselves. And also, for some people, it is struggling about making choices, feeling that they do not have enough information, feeling that they haven't gather all the information they need in order to make that choice, that decision in their life regarding to different areas. Maybe it is regarding quitting the job or not, accepting that promotion or that new job offer or not, pursuing that relationship or not. So it is the yes or no for some of us. And we feel like we do not have everything we need. We do not have all the information we need. And for some of us, this week, we suddenly have an aha moment. Maybe it is the Venus retrograding in Capricorn that brings in the information you need. And maybe it is you remembering within yourself that when I can shut all the distraction, the noises around me, and just come back to myself and drop back down to that heart space, into my intuition, it is then the choice will reveal itself to help me make it. It can be regarding to a love situation or a close relationship, or it is making that change, that choice that can maybe change the course of your life. For some people, it's a bigger choice that they have to make. And this week, they will come back and realize that, hey, it is time to shut down those noise. I got everything I need. I got all the information I need to make that decision. I just need to come back to myself and trust my intuition that I am making the best choice for my highest good. So let's see if we can get additional message, guidance from our oracle cards. Remember that your intuition will always guide you to what you truly want and need in your life. Sometimes we just gotta listen to it. Wow, the Pisces energy came out. Look at it. Jupiter is going to Pisces this Wednesday. So first we have first quarter moon in Capricorn, which we're still in Capricorn season. Oh yes. Oh, and after this after this Sunday, when we have our new moon in Capricorn, we're entering the first quarter moon in Capricorn. Love it. Unleash your kindest self. And then we have full moon in Pisces, forgive. So what it's saying is that while you're in the midst of reflecting, revisiting, reevaluating all these relationships, all these choices you have to make, all this decision you might have to make, please be gentle with yourself, be kind with yourself and the other person. If there's things you need to forgive yourself or the other party, forgive. It is through forgiveness that we set ourselves free, and it is through kindness that we can achieve what we want to sometimes. Don't forget to be a little bit more kind and gentle to yourself and the other person while you're in the midst of doing all this decision and choices that you have to make. So let's get a spiritual animal message. I love these cards to see what additional energies that's playing out. I feel like we got more than one, but I'll just grab. Oh, yes, we got it. Okay, here we go. We have brown bear spirit, take time out. And then we have card 30th, grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Oh my God, like all this energy, they flow together so well. So brown bear spirit, take time out. When you're feeling overwhelmed in doing all this revisiting, reflecting your choices, when you have to make all this decision, remember to take time out if you're feeling overwhelmed. But also, while you're taking time out to do all this thinking, do not just stay there. Remember that it is also important to balance actions and thinking. You can't stay in the thinking state forever without taking any actions, or else nothing is going to change and everything will be stagnant. This week is about thinking, contemplating, yes, but it is also balancing with taking action as well. So number 9, it breaks down to 9, which is we're closing out cycles. There are things in life that we do not want to bring into 2022. And it is finally time to just make the choice to know what we want. Moving forward, make the changes that we want. in order to achieve what we desire. And it is about taking that leap of faith. 3 is about expansion, which is the energy of Jupiter in Pisces is bringing in. Without taking the leap of faith, without taking any actions, we will not be able to expand. So remember the balance between thinking, contemplating, but also taking actions. So let's get a final message from this deck. Woo! So let's get a final message from this deck, this oracle deck. Woo! Whoa! Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see all this duality that every deck, exactly 2 cards came out for us? So I know some of you will be like, oh my God, you're like thinking way too much. But look at the way I shuffle and look at how the cards come out. They come out exactly 2 by 2 and finally by 2. And it's just signified that energy of Jupiter and Pisces. It is a very powerful transit and it's gonna stay here for a hot minute. So let's see what we got. Oh my God, I love these 2 cards. So the first card we have card 19, flexible. And then we have the card number 2, duality, the yin and the yang. But card 2 is about the yin, which is the energy of Pisces, the yin part of Jupiter, because Sagittarius is actually the yang part of the Jupiter energy. And the Pisces and Jupiter is bringing in the yin part. How can we come within ourselves to balance that current, that upstream, downstream current, that yin and yang, just like that 2 fishes swimming towards and or away from each other constantly, right? To find that balance. So I really, really love this energy. It's about being on the receptive too. We can't keep taking actions all the time, yes. We have to remember there's a balance between the yin and the yang. It is important to balance the receptive and the taking action, right? So we see that reflecting from the 2 cards that we got. Take time out, yin, being in the receptive mode, doing all the reflecting, the contemplating while we're in the midst of making decisions, changes that we want in our life. But also don't forget to be flexible and to take the action that we need in order to achieve those changes we want in life. So we see a lot of balancing energy from this reading, which is totally resonating with what we're going through in the astrology, which is the Jupiter in Pisces energy, which I really love. And I just want to read for you from the guidebook as well for additional message from the oracle cards. So for card number 2, yin, the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it happens. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alternately study actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear, but the shaped, not the shaper. And you will see how quickly your dreams manifest. So being on the receptivity side doesn't mean you just sit there and not do anything, but be the observer. You're not doing anything, but you're observing all the subtle changes within you. That is what you do when you're contemplating, reflecting all the things you want to do, right? And then after that, you can take that leap of faith, that actions to achieve those. So it is a process. And here, card 19, we have flexible. 19 also breaks down to 10, which is we're completing a cycle, we're ending a year, we're starting a new year. So while in the midst of all this, remain flexible with things that's coming to you and you're bringing out to the world, which is very important. So card 19, flexible. Teachability, open-mindedness, being adaptable without compromising what's most important. I feel like this card came out quite often to remind me, to remind us to stay flexible in the midst of all the changes that we are making or experiencing in our lives, which is very important. Trees are solidly planted in the ground, yet its branches can bend in a hurricane, whereas a rigid structure like a building would come crashing down. Consider how the tree remains supple and secure while everything around it may be in shambles. This is how you need to be right now, willing to learn new things, teachable, malleable, yet firmly grounded in who you are. Common sense is important, but so is an open mind. Stay curious, stay open, and stay aware. At this time, others will be more flexible to you too. So sometimes I feel like we're so rigid. We can be so rigid in our own beliefs that we can become dogmatic. We can be not so flexible when we are facing with people that don't have the same beliefs or mind as us. So it is a reminder to stay flexible while we're communicating, while we do not have the same opinion and thoughts and thinking, can we still remain a balanced, a harmonious situation with everyone and within ourselves? So I think this is just a kind and gentle reminder for all of us this week as we're going through all this as well. So I just want to end the reading with an affirmation for us to guide us through this week. So we got 2 cards. We'll take them all. So the first card is, my genuine desire to serve clears the path for me to step into my purpose. So I think once we figure out what our purpose is and our desires too, I'm just getting this other message while I'm reading it to you is sometimes there's a need for us to clear things on our path in order for us to step into our purpose and to achieve what we want in our life. So this is a very nice message to wrap up the year as well for us to think about. As we are stepping into a new year, we want to be another step closer to our purpose, whatever it is for you. Sometimes it is necessary to take the time and to know what we need to clear out our path in order to do that. And the second card is, instead of taking on the fear of others, I reflect love, which is so true and wonderful message for all of us. So many times while we're in the midst of wanting changes and thinking about the changes we want, we can let our ego mind to take over to keep us in the space of fear and lack and judgment or opinions from other people. But remember, we're all living our own life. So it is time to really do what's best for you. What's best for you might not be the best for others, but what do you need? What do you want? What do you desire? What are the changes you want in your life? No one else knows better than you. So it is important sometimes to listen to others' opinion. They do matters, but what matters the most is yourself. What do you truly want? What's your dream, your desire, your path? No one walk that for you but yourself. So it is important to remember, while people's opinions are important, they're not everything. Yours is the most important. So do not take on the fears of others that they have for you, fearing you're not going to achieve it, you're not going to success, the change might not be the right change for you. Listen, say thank you, and do what you want, because in the end, it's your life. You're living it for yourself, not others. But also remember to stay flexible, not to be so rigid, and to be gentle, to be kind, to forgive, and to reflect love, because love is the highest frequency of all. So I hope the messages in here helps, and feel free to leave me a comment. I would love to connect and hear from you. If the message resonates or help you in any way, feel free to come back after the weekend to see if more message resonates with you. Again, contact me, email me, message me if you need a private reading. And I am sending you a lot of love. Happy 2022. I'll see you again next year. Hi everyone. So when I switch off the camera just now, editing the video and getting ready to upload it, I actually uploaded, but just when I was doing that, my guides told me that, hey, you are missing something. You need to go back and there's another message that's important and you need to share it. So I came back and I look at the cards and like, oh my God, how can I miss it? And sometimes when I'm doing reading, the messages that I get can be quite a lot, and sometimes I might be rushing and I miss them, so I'm so sorry, and this is something I'm working on. But yes, this is an important message that I need to mention, and that is why I do what I do, because cards don't lie and they do reflect the planetary energy and everything that's going on within our life and as a collective. So these two cards is towards the end of the week as we're stepping into the new year 2022. And here we have two major arcanas, the High Priestess and the Lovers. And why is it so important? Because as I mentioned earlier, when I was doing the planetary forecast, we are stepping into 2022. And 2022 breaks down 222 to 6. It is the year of 6. And what does that mean? As I mentioned earlier, number 6 represent finding the balance, the harmony within ourselves, and hopefully as a collective as well. And number 6 in Tarot is also the Lovers card, which is a major arcana for Gemini, which is talks about making a choice. Yes, it can be about love, which is a big topic right now because we're in Venus retrograde. It's about re-evaluating, reflecting, reviewing all our relationships, all the things we value, especially in love for some of us. And the Lovers in traditional tarot is known to be the choices. Number of 6, which is the year that we're stepping into. So this is very significant. And in order for us to reach the harmony or balance that we want within our life, within our relationships, sometimes choice need to be made. And High Priestess, which is also a card of duality here, we can see that she knows everything that she needs to know is within herself. And even though sometimes there might be hidden truth or information that she might still need to know, she knows that when she drops down to her heart space, listen to her intuition, it will help her to make the choice that she needs to make. So this 2 energy is very prominent and powerful here as we are stepping into the 6th year. It's about how are we making choice in our life in order for us to reach the harmony, the balance that we want for ourselves, for everyone, for the collective. It is zooming out bigger than just your relationships. I mean, your relationship determine a lot in your life, and that is very true. And I just want to share this with you all, this message that I got as well. So 2022 is all about making choices that will allow us to be one step closer to the balance, harmony that we want for ourselves in our life. And even though sometimes we might feel like we don't know everything, that we don't know all the information for us to make choices, but sometimes what we have to do is just take a leap, trust that we have everything within us. What do we truly want that will help you to make the choice you have to make? And on top of that, instead of taking on the fear of others, reflect love. Make your choice based on what you know inside of you, what you know inside your heart, which is the most important thing. So here's the message that I just want to add for you all. Thank you again for stopping by to listen to this reading, and I will see you next year. Thank you.